Hello everyone, welcome to Momentum IS. Today we will discuss one of the very important topic with respect to prelims perspective, that is Ashoka's major rock edict. If we look at the map of the Indian subcontinent, we will find that Ashokan edicts has been described as the major rock edict, minor rock edict as well as pillar edict. In this video we will discuss about only the major rock edicts of the Ashoka. Now these edict has been found over the various places over the Indian subcontinent. These places are Kandhar in Afghanistan area, Shahbazgadi and Manshehra at the Pakistan area, and rest all the edicts like the Girnar in the Gujarat, Sopara in Maharashtra, Sannati in Karnataka, Yarangudi in Andhra Pradesh, Jogada and Dholi in the Odisha region, and Kalsi at Dehradun, Uttarakhand. One of the major or interesting feature of these edicts is that they have been found at the peripheral area of the modern administration, while only one edict, that is the Kalsi, has been found at the center region. Rest all are located at the peripheral area of the modern administration. Now there has been 14 separate major edicts. It has been located at the 10 places described earlier. Now these edicts has been inscribed on the rocks as well as on the pillars, and they are found in the India, Nepal, Pakistan and Afghanistan region. In these edicts, Ashoka described the welfare policy for the people of his kingdom as well as the policy for the Dhamma. While one of the major interesting feature of these edicts is that the name of the Ashoka has not been found in any of the edict. Instead, a name called Devam Priya and Devam Priya Priyadasi has been inscribed on these edict. So how do we decipher that these edicts belong to the Ashoka or to the modern empire? So there is one Buddhism chronicle named as Divvamsa. It is part of Sri Lanka Chronicles, where it has been written that the name of the Ashoka is associated with Priyadasi. Now these edicts has been written in the 3 languages and 4 scripts. What are these 3 languages? These 3 languages are Prakrit, Aramic, and Greek. Now the Prakrit language has been written in 2 scripts. One is Brahmi script and other is Kharoshthi script. While the Aramic language has been written in the Aramic script and that the Greek language is written in the Greek script. So these Prakrit language and the Brahmi script has been inscribed in all over the edicts that has been found in the Indian region, while the Prakrit language and the Kharoshthi script has been inscribed on the edicts that has been found on the Pakistan region, that is Manshehra and Shahbazgadi, while the Aramic and the Greek languages along with the Aramic and the Greek script, it has been found in the Kandhar region of Afghanistan. The one major important thing that the scripts that we haven't deciphered about the IVC or the Indus Valley Civilization, the Ashoka's script was the first written script that has been found in the ancient India. Now if we talk about Rock Edict 1, it talks about the prohibition of the animal slaughter and banning of the festive gatherings and the killing of the animals. It generally lay belief on the simplicity of the life, like no animal killing, and celebrating the normal way of life, banning extra festival gatherings. While the Rock Edict 2, it gives us the major information about the neighbors that the then modern administration had. Like it talks about the Cholas, Pandyas, Satyaputra, Keralaputra, Cheras, that these were the kingdoms which were the neighbors of the Ashoka's modern administration. While it also talks about the Greek king Antiochus II, who also had been his neighbor. The Rock Edict 3 It instructs the modern administrators like the Yuktas and Pradeshikas to visit in every 5 years to the various parts of his kingdom and propagate the policy of the Dhamma. Now, Rock Edict 4, it talks about the Dhamma Gosha ideal is ideal to the mankind and not to the Beri Ghosha. Now, what is this Dhamma Ghosha and Beri Ghosha? Beri Ghosha is basically war drums. So, Ashoka say no to war drums, basically no to killings and no to wars, and instead he propagates Dhamma Ghosha or Dhamma Vijay. That is the propagation of Dhamma or the victory of the Dhamma. Now, the Rock Edict 4 also talks about the humane perspective of the Ashoka. Like he say that one should have the compassionate attitude towards the slaves. He considers every individual of his kingdom as his child. And one major important thing that it talks about the appointment of the Dham Mahapatras. Who were the Dham Mahamatras? Dham Mahamatras were the people appointed by the Ashoka for the propagation of the policy of the Dhamma. Now, another Rock Edict 6, it talks about welfare measures that has been taken by the Ashoka for the people of his kingdom. Now, one major important thing, Rock Edict 7. If you remember, in UPSC, previous year question 2020, there was one statement, and the statement was to foster one's own sect, depreciating the others out of affection for one's own, to exalt its merit, it is to do the worst harm to one's own sect. And the name of the king has been asked in that question. So this belonged to King Ashoka, and it has been part of the major Rock Edict 7. So if we talk about the Rock Edict 8, Ashoka, it describes Ashoka's first visit to the Bodh Gaya and to the Bodhi tree. Now Bodh Gaya is, you all know that the Bodh Gaya is the place where Lord Buddha attained enlightenment and under the Bodhi tree. So it has the spiritual significance for the Ashoka. The Rock Edict 9 as well as Rock Edict 10, it talks about the stress in the ceremonies of Dhamma or stress on the popularity of the Dhamma fight. While in doing so, it also condemns the popular ceremonies that was held there, or it also condemns the desire for the fame and glory. In the similar way, the Rock Edict 11, it describes what was the Dhamma major. Now, in Rock Edict 12, again the policy of tolerance or the policy of the compassionate attitude towards the other religion has been propagated by the Ashoka. This edict has been written in the Greek or Aramaic also in the Kandhar region. Now the Rock Edict 13, this is one of the most important Rock Edict as it has been written after the Kalinga victory. The Kalinga victory was the turning point in the life of the Ashoka. It talks about Ashoka's victory over Kalinga. It is one of the largest inscription from the edict, and it also mentions the high number of casualties that took place during the war. So it changed the heart of the Ashoka, and Ashoka considered that the victory by Dhamma to be the foremost victory. This edict has been written in the Greek and Aramaic language in the Kandhar region. And the last Rock Edict 14, it describes the different places where these engraving of inscription has been there. Now, if we talk about the locations of the various edicts, as we have seen earlier that the Kandhar, it is in the Afghanistan area, and it deals with the two languages bilingual, that is Greek and the Aramaic language, which is written in the Greek and the Aramaic script respectively. While all the edicts that is found on the Indian region, that is Yeragudi, Girnar, Dhauli, Jogada, these all has been written in the Prakrit language in the Brahmi script, Khalsi, Sobada also, while the edicts that has been found at the Shahbazgadi as well as the Mansehra, these are in Pakistan region, and they has been written in Prakrit language, but the script used was that the Kharoshti script. So that's all for the Ashoka's major rock edict. For more blogs and for more information, visit to our website www.momentumis.com. Thank you.